Everyone, so this particular my video is related to the typical case studies, situational questions, behavioral questions which are asked in the interviews of public sector. Especially we are going to face such kind of questions in empty position, empty post of Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. HAL interviews are going to come soon, and many of you have got interview calls, and there are two categories, that is design trainee and management trainee. Now for management trainee positions, they give you some situation. In that situation, through that situation, the answer whatever you will give to them, they will try to check how you are in managing the things. Time management, persuasive skills, working in a team, discipline, taking the risk, crisis management, event management. So these decision making power, how quick are you in taking decision. So those things will be checked through situation. That is called case study, that is called behavioral question or situational question. This document is available, and you can take it from our website of YourPedia, and this document is made for HAL. Many of the case studies here are added on the basis of previous year's HAL interview, but it is relevant for all the interviews. So many of you who are preparing for interviews and want to go for interviews in near future, please prepare on these case studies. Let me start now. So as I was discussing with you that HAL is going to have its interview, and it is made up of three components. HR part is going to come, technical is going to come, and then in empty post some kind of your case studies are going to come. So what do they check through these case studies? They check your rationality in decision making, they check your decision making capability, promptness in your decision making, what is the professional approach you are following or not, management perspective you are considering or not. Whenever you take some decision, you think of yourself, worker, or of the management, or of the organization. So actually it should be like the first priority should be given to country, national security and integrity. That should be the first priority in any decision. Then it should be society at large, in which environment also comes. Then it should be organization as a whole. Then it should be your department or group in which you are working. Then it should be the basically other people who are working under you or who are working in your team. You should give priority to their interest, and then last it should be your interest. So that approach he checks. Many times he will give you a case study that okay, for national security this is to be done, we have to cut the trees. What should be done? We have to cut it. Okay, we have to cut, organization is to expand, it is in expansion mode, and we have to cut trees. Can we? No. In that case you cannot straightforward say okay, cut the trees. No, you cannot do that, because now environment and society interest is more. Or you are releasing the pollution pollutant of your industry or organization in the open, and it is creating some kind of health related problems to the nearby people. What should you do? So these kind of things you have to give priority to the society. That is what you have to consider. Now these are the things he is going to check in your basic approach. So now case studies, situational or behavioral question or case studies related questions, they are specific problems. They can be hypothetical, they can be real life situation. They can be like, have you ever done this? When was the last time that you felt proud of yourself? Now that is the actual situation he is asking you. When was the last time that you had argument with your parents, argument with your boss or someone very senior to you? So that is the actual question. Now sometimes he will ask you hypothetical question. He will give you a hypothetical question. Let us say that you are working in your team, and the two members start fighting, and they've got their own issue. They started quarreling, they started fighting. So how you will resolve their conflict and what you will do in this kind of situation? So that is a hypothetical situation he will create, and then will ask you to answer that particular question. So I'm just explaining whatever is written here. Maybe some of you may not be in position to read this font, small font I have written, but document you take and then you read this particular document, right? Okay, then comes what he checks is your communication skill, answer whatever you give. I told you your situational intelligence. He will check your situational intelligence, because intelligence is a broad concept. Intelligence means many things. Situational intelligence is something which managers should have, and if you're trying to become management trainee or you're going to be management trainee, then you should have situational intelligence. That means you should be in position to handle the situation. You should be good in getting people along with you. You should be good in getting the things done. You should be good in handling the situation. That is what the manager is all about, and you should be good in that. Okay, now let me give you some of the case studies. How will you handle disgruntled employee? That means employee who is working under you or who is working with you, and he is creating some kind of troubles. He is not listening to you. He is giving a lot of issues. He is not working properly. He is supposed to work, but he is not working like that. How you will handle him? So he will give you a situation that you are supervisor of someone, and under your supervision there is a person who is actually not doing the work he should do. How you will handle it? So there are some proper, typical guidelines. There are some typical format of activities you have to do. You are to listen to his problem first. You should be a patient listener. So a good manager should be a patient listener. He is to listen to the point of view of someone. So if you listen somebody patiently, then the person who is telling you his problem, he is half satisfied that at least I am heard, he listened to me. Try to find out the cause of discontentment. He will tell you something, but try to go to the roots. So you should find the root cause. Unless until you reach the root cause, you may not be in position to solve the problem. Then you have to empathize with the person. It should look like that, yeah, you are listening to him and you are taking his perspective, because it is your responsibility and duty to take care of the people working under you. So make him realize that you will genuinely provide solution to his problem. If you cannot provide solution immediately, at least he should get satisfied that you will try to find the solution. Then convince him to continue his good work, and the issue parallelly can be resolved, but it should not hamper the work, because as I told you, individual se upar organization aata hai. So organizational interest are more than individual interest. So in the conflict of individual conflict or your own issues, the work of the office should not be hampered. Work of the office should go on. So that is what is important. You need to seek the opinion of colleagues and others in the team. So you need to seek that particular opinion. You need to discuss the matter with your seniors if you hit the dead end. Suppose you are not finding any solution, you are not getting any solution. So you need to listen to the seniors. That is what you have to do. Okay. So how you will handle unsatisfied customer? Now similar situation is like that. I don't know, in many organizations you are having dealing with the customer. Customers are of two types: internal customer, external customer. Internal customer is the employee. So this case which we discussed is internal customer, and external customer is the customer of the organization. He is not working with the organization, but he is somewhere related to organization through the product of the organization, services of the organization. Like I am a YourPedia organization, I am working in YourPedia, I am employee of YourPedia, and the students who are taking some services, suppose you have taken the intro guidance module of YourPedia, you are the external customer. Teacher, as a mentor, I am internal customer of YourPedia, you are external customer of YourPedia. And whenever you will have some kind of issue with the YourPedia can be with the employee also. I may be having my issue with the organization, like my YourPedia is doing this, they are not giving me facility, YourPedia is not giving me good salary or anything. Similar, as a customer, you may be having some issues. You may be having issue with YourPedia, like mentors are not giving you service or something. So handle those situations. Again, most of the points are same. Listen to the customer, try to understand the root cause, try to empathize with him, try to convince him that okay, we'll provide. So same kind of situation, but yes, in the customer there are certain other things which you have to do. Now you have to work in your team, you have to listen to your team also inside and give the solution to the customer. That is how it is to be done. Okay, now you need to be polite with the customer, listen to the problem patiently, make him realize that you are genuinely interested, gather more information, provide him mode of communication with him, because customer may not be having mode of communication. So one of the things which has always worked in YourPedia, as you know, YourPedia WhatsApp groups. So one of the things which has always worked with YourPedia is like communication with the customer, communication with the students. So mentors sit on the Zoom, mentors have their WhatsApp account, they have given their mobile number, you can call anytime. Those things are always working. So communication channels should be there. If the customer is assured that you can communicate with the organization or the people you are taking service from, if you are communicating with them, then the customer is always satisfied. He will always give some question problem, and if one is not listening, somebody else is to listen. So that way customer is mode of communication should be provided. Okay, you have to assure him that problem will be resolved and try to give him a realistic time frame. Yes, so whenever you say okay, I'll handle this, I'll provide the solution to you, at the same time you are also to tell that how much time it will take, in how much time will you be providing solution to my problem. Now that is very important. So what customer requires, and you put yourself in that category. Suppose you are a customer of YourPedia, I am the internal customer, I am a mentor, you have some issues that sir you are not providing me sufficient time slots for HR, group discussion. So I'll say okay, I have heard, I have seen your problem. Your problem is that you are a working executive, you are a working individual, and by the time you come back from office, GD is over and we are not providing you the slots. So I have understood the problem now. Then I started seeing what is the situation inside organization. Do we have mentor who can handle in the night also? So then I told you, okay, give me 2 days. Within 2 days I'll come out with the solution, I'll provide you the solution. Time frame I'm to give you. So I'm to empathize with you. First of all, I'm to accept that yes, you have a genuine problem. I'm to accept that yes, you are doing job and that is your genuine problem, and I'll provide you solution for that. And then I'm to give you time frame that within 2 days I'll come out with it and I'll provide you the solution for this. And then within 2 days I'm to tell you, okay, if you have any other issue, this is my number, you can call me directly on this number and I can be approached on this number and you can discuss. And realistic time frame is to be provided to the customer. Now what would you do if given constructive criticism that you disagree with? Okay, now constructive criticism in the organization is also one of the issues. Somebody comes and criticizes you that you are not doing this is work you are not doing. So what if somebody comes and criticizes you? How you handle that situation? Now criticism is of two types. Understand one thing. One is constructive, another is useless criticism, and that is unproductive criticism. Destructive I will not say, but unproductive criticism, right? उसका फायदा नहीं होता. Constructive criticism का फायदा होता है. Constructive criticism can be of benefit to you, it can be helpful to you because it will help you to improve further, improve yourself as an individual, and it will improve your profession. So constructive criticism is essential, and but it may not be, constructive criticism may not be true. So how to handle such situation? Again, and says you are not spending, I have given you case study, somebody comes and says you are spending too much time on doing the activity. Your boss one day calls you and says that you see the HR which you are taking you are taking HR for 25 minutes. But we have kept HR for 10 minutes. There are people like Vijender who is taking in 10 minutes and you are taking 25 minutes. So that means you cannot handle many customers and Vijender is handling more customer. So this is the complaint I have with you, and in one day you cannot take 20 students, or you are only taking 10 students. We have more number of students who want this and you are not handling that. It's a criticism. Now how to handle, how to go forward with carefully. Number one, whenever somebody criticizes you, listen it carefully. With pen and paper, note down the things what he is saying. Second, overreaction. You are not to overreact to the situation. He is telling you something, so let him speak everything whatever he is saying and note down every point, note down carefully. So no acceptance or denial at the first place. Neither you should accept what he is saying is true, nor you should deny whatever he is saying is true. Why? Because it is his version. You have to listen it, you have to note it. Then if you need, you seek more information from, once he is done, when spoken, you seek more information from him. Sir, who has told you this? Or sir, since when you are getting these complaints from for my side, from me, how many complaints you have, how many people have complained you, what is the modus operandi? And then gather the data. Have you actually taken 25 minutes? It may be wrong. I mean, he's saying that you take 25 minutes, but then you may get, when you seek the data, because data is there nowadays. When you seek data, you find that you are not taken 25 minutes. You have taken 25 minutes only in 3 cases where student wanted to discuss many things with you, and as a customer you could not have denied him services. So it was only in 3 cases that you were taking 25 minutes, whereas you were taking 12 minutes, 13 minutes, 11 minutes, sometime you have taken 8 minutes also, and you have done that. You gather the data, you ask the question from the person who is putting criticism, and you gather data also, go in depth of the issue. So one thumb rule is always there: go to the root cause first of any issue. Go to the root cause, get as much information as possible before you say anything or before decision. Find whether it is constructive criticism or somebody has said it otherwise. I mean, try to see the intention behind it. What is the intention? If the point is valid, you must accept it and you must improve. If you find the data and you realize that okay, that is true, now give your version why you did. You should have your version. You should say that, sir, you are comparing me with Vijender. Number one, my quality is far better than his quality, in the sense that have you taken feedback of the customer? Have you taken the feedback of the students that okay, is he satisfied? Because customer satisfaction is very important. Maybe I take more time, but at the end customer is satisfied with our services. Whereas Vijender takes only 10 minutes, but maybe customer is not satisfied. So have you considered that particular thing which we call quality? Quality means customer satisfaction. Have you taken quality into consideration before you started talking about the time? Because if one customer every day, instead of attending them 10 minutes every day, it is better you attend him 15-20 minutes per one day in 3 days, only once, but he should be satisfied, his question answer should be met, that kind of thing, right? So you should not be aggressive, you should be confident, and you should not take it to person. It should not be taken personally, it should be professionally, it should be taken. At the end of the things, something positive should come out. At the end of the things, something positive should come out. Such kind of case studies, and I want you to read these case studies. They are very, very important. Work closely with someone you did not get along with, and what did you do? So when like you are working closely with someone with whom you are not very comfortable to work with, so urgency was like you are supposed to work, and situation do that. So interviewer will ask you this kind of question, and they want to ask this question to know how you are in getting along with others. Those kind of things they want to know. And you should, in these kind of things, you should say what you have done and how you have approached. If you are to work with someone with whom you are not very good to get along with, you should try to first understand them. You should try to understand them first, and you should approach professionally. You should not again overreact in the situation. You should them professionally. You should be respectful to them. You should avoid any unnecessary talking or unnecessary discussion. No mingling, mixing with them, becoming their part is important. Like everybody is having lunch, so you should not avoid them and go and have separate lunch. No, I'm not saying that. Everybody is having lunch, you should also go and have lunch with them. But unnecessary chit chat, unnecessary criticism or bitching of others, that you can avoid. Don't do that. Not to be judgmental for anybody, and try to get yourself accepted through your good work, helping attitude, disciplined approach. So if you are good to others, if you are saying anything negative to others, you have not critic to others, then people will slowly start accepting you. And if somebody is still provoking you, don't get provoked, and just keep yourself to the work. To anyone, you should not criticize anybody at their back, because if he tells them, then relation will further be spoiled. So your focus should be very clear. Our focus is to get the work done. Our focus is to work as a team and complete the project, and you are not to say anything wrong to others, and you are to the team. That is required. To complete a task you have never done before. So have you ever taken a work, have you ever accomplished a work which you never did earlier? So how do you react to that situation? When was it last time that you were given a task which you have never done, and or I give you a task which you have never done before, it is a challenging task, and your boss calls you and gives you this task, how shall you approach? Okay, right? So your boss wants to check your potential to take new challenges independently. Do you have a problem solving skill? Can you get along with others? Can you get as much, coordination from others which is required for the project? So those traits can be checked through this kind of case study. So what in this particular situation is, you should learn more and more about the challenges, and you should try to seek more and more responsibilities. That is the attitude you should have. Seek as much information as possible from seniors and colleagues. Maybe this is new to you, but there may be other people in your colleagues and seniors who have done this, so tend to get more information from them. Use the internet source. Now internet is a very good source. Use internet source and get the information. Meet someone who has previously done this project and try to get information from him. You should basically try to get along with people who have done some work in this, and maybe you can tell your boss that sir, tell this situation, but give me two people, give me two members who have relatively some experience in this, and someone who is expert in this, who has handled this project. Maybe you can get some help from him. So try to see the sources from where you can get the information within the organization, outside the organization, on the internet, wherever you try to get. And you should also learn to explore something which you have never done before. You should try to learn that, and you should talk to your seniors for their help and how you can accomplish this particular task. Questions, how do you basically deal? So suppose there is a high pressure situation, you are subjected to high pressure. How do you react to the situation? How you handle that situation? Because in the organization, high pressure situation always can be created. So in case such high pressure situation is created, how do you react to that high pressure situation? High pressure situation can be because of the urgency of the work. It can be because of your time duration, time limitation. I mean, less time is left and you have to deliver, or because of lack of manpower, people have left the organization and now you are only to do it. Pressure can be created from any corner. How you have handled? So when you last time handled the pressure situation, and give us this. So you can always quote something that, sir, I was given a project in the college and we were 4 students working on the project and everybody was assigned a task. So all of us were to do the project, some part of the project, and eventually we were to club it together and present it in front of the college committee. So what happened was, one of our friends fell sick or something, and then he could not complete it. He did not tell us, but he could not complete it also. And just 3-4 days before the submission of the project, we realized that we are now left with very less time. What to do now? If that work which our friend was to do, if that work is not added here, then our project cannot be submitted. So that was a pressure situation. In that case, what we did, sir, number one, we took the help from our friend, that whatever he has done, give it to us. And can he put effort, because now he's okay, can he put effort for the rest 3 days? Who else can help us? So I mean, you can give some example of the situation. You will try to understand your workload. Accordingly, you will prioritize your problem, your activities. Time management, this is a typical time management thing. So you will understand how to manage the time. You will write everything very clearly, meet the target. You will set the schedule for you. Need to do smart work. Hard work everybody does, but you have to do smart work also in this. Need to slog, you have to put a lot of effort in this. So certain things which are regular routine for you, like going for walk or having entertainment or do this activity, do that activity, that you avoid and put a lot of effort. You have to slog yourself. Personal relation and adaptability to the situation is something which comes handy here. So if you have good personal relations with other, then maybe you can help in such kind of situation. Okay, now what accomplishment are of your career in you, and how did you achieve it? So this kind of questions, tell me about your accomplishments, about your achievements which you are proud of, and tell me how did you achieve it. So you have done job, previously you were doing job, presently you are doing job. In the 5 years, can you tell us something which you can feel proud of, and how did you achieve it? How did you attain it? So you can always give some example. When I was teaching 2nd grade, I noticed that students in my class were struggling with their honest, and then I did this, I made this change. So any example in your life. See, everyone has in his life some low phase, some high phase, some achievements, some failures, some moments where he was under tremendous pressure, some moments when he was very, very happy. In the interview, they tend to ask you, what were these situations? You need to recall it. Now, in the interview, you are otherwise also under pressure, and you have very less time. You don't have time to think. So best is like you jot down these things in your copy right now. So you sit and you write these things, that when I was doing this, that time this happened. So what have you done for the country, for the nation, in your 25 years? Now you're 25 years of age. So in 25 years, have you done something for the country? Now immediately if it is asked in the interview, you may not answer it. But now if you start thinking, you will say, yes sir, in 25 years of age, I have done my all activities which I was supposed to do very meticulously as a responsible citizen. So I have never broken any law. I have helped the law and order systems whenever I was supposed to. I have been very good student. I have done job wherever I have done my job. I have done it very well. So I have fully utilized my potential. So that way I am a productive member of this country, and I am a responsible citizen. So that is my contribution to the nation as of now. I mean, but it off only when you are not in the interview. Before interview, you have to prepare for all these things. So all these questions, your achievements, your failures, when you felt proud of yourself, when you felt regretted, when you felt guilty, when you had that guilty feeling in you, what was the last time, what was the decision you you have taken and now you repent on your decision, what is that one thing you would like to change in your career, in your life. So those kind of, please, that. So these accomplishments can be personal, professional level. There can be, these should not be framed, they should be real ones. So don't take here. It's very, very clear. You should not try to fake the things. You should try to provide as much things as possible, and you should not try to provide the fake things. You should try to provide things which are really basically honest or something. So that is what you should try to do. And see that if the situation you are providing, you are having full knowledge about that particular. Give me an example of any problem you must have observed and how you solved it. So any problem you observed in the situation or the place where you are working. So if you are working in some place, you must have observed many problems. It so happens that sometimes we see the problem and we try to provide the solution to that particular problem. So when it happened last time that you saw a problem and you provided the solution, you tried to provide the solution to that problem and you solved it. So when it happened last time, situation, tell me about the situation when you had especially heavy workload and how did you do it. So when you are having load, you can tell about your exam, you can tell about your job, that this was the situation. I was having a lot of load because 2 people left my group in which I was working. There were a couple of people working and people left it. I was supposed to do their job also, right? So similarly, you have to do smart work, out of the box thinking you have to do, time management you have to do, discipline you have to do, teamwork you have to do. So a lot of work comes to you, how do you handle it? Then you have to say smart work I am to do, out of box solution, time management. Give me a difficult decision you had to make and what steps did you take to make it. So difficult. So give me the basic example of decision you had to make. So you have to give some example when you made a difficult decision. So it is like decision making capability. This kind of question check your decision making capability. When I was working as project leader, I realized that earlier mistake would cost us a lot and this will create a trouble. So I talked to my team and I decided that this should be done, and you decided in your wisdom that we should go for it. So have you ever taken a difficult decision? You will approach in these kind of problems, you will see all the options for you. You will weigh all the options. You will do away with the dissonance and choose the one which will good for you. You will choose the one option. Don't worry about the repercussions of the decision you take, because finally once you take the So sometimes what happens is you are only to take a decision, and then responsibility of that decision also is yours. You have to take. So be aware of all the consequences and take responsibilities. Decision is good for the organization, then you should take it. Though you can discuss with many people, but you have to take the decision. And many times the stories of ISRO satellite launched, though it failed, but satellite launched. So the chief of DRDO, they take responsibility on them. It is not that it goes good or not good, that nobody knows. Somebody is to call to take the decision. You are working on a project with the tight deadline and you are waiting on something from co-worker who said now you decline it. So what happens is, like, you are working on a project, the typical case study which I gave you of your friends in project. So you are working on a project and one of your friends co-worker now he says he cannot deliver. So what did you do? Situation. Coordination is important in such situation, collaboration, getting things done, crisis management, people management. So all these traits should be there, and then only it will go forward. So tell me about a time when you disagreed with your boss and how did you handle it. So give a situation when you were not a boss. He was telling you something but you did not agree with what he's saying, and then how did you handle it. So in that situation you have to respect the seniors, but at the same time you have to tell them the realistic situation. You should not fear your boss, you should not fear your seniors. Whatever is right you should tell them. Now and organization and its interests are supreme. So if you find that some decision may be against the organizational interest, you should. National security, environmental protection, organization, as I told you, what should be the guiding principle in taking the decision. They should be like this: supreme is national interest, followed by environment or society, then organizations. Discussion and communication with people should always be there. Give example to us, give some example to us where you set a personal goal for you and you achieved it. So can you give object? So that also gives some idea about some of your personality traits. It also tells us about something about your personality traits. Now whether you set realistic goal or not, that it tells you. Realistic goal as per your capability and temperament. You cannot say, oh, next 2 days I will complete it. No, don't set that goal. Because if you set that goal and if you don't meet that goal, it will lead to your, it will reduce your motivation level also to perform. And also if you set some particular goal and tell the customer, your customers, that we will deliver, and you don't deliver, then it brings bad name to you and organization. Set the small steps, small goals. You should not set a goal after 3 months only. You should set a goal for 1 week also. This week I'll do, this week I'll do this week I'll do this, and keep accomplishing them. If you set the goal, that much of time, are you capable for doing this? Those things should be done. Set the goal in small, medium, long-term duration, and regular monitoring of that thing, your progress, regular monitoring of your growth progress is very important, and assessment should be done. And if some review is to be done, and again you have to make some kind of changes, you should be. So that is what is this all about. Now tell me about the challenge or conflict you faced at work and how did you overcome that particular challenge. Any kind of challenge can be there. Describe a situation where you saw a problem and you took a step to fix it. That is a kind of thing. So these were some case studies I collected for you. This is a 12-page document. Please go through it, and some studies which were asked in the interviews I have jotted down it, where your communication skill and persuasive skill is important. Like how will you go about explaining a challenging issue to a client or to customer or to boss, to your team. Time management issues, what steps will you take to ensure that you have enough time to meet all your deadlines. So time management are there, and then similarly goal and motivations related case studies, adaptability and stress situations, then teamwork and collaborations. So these are all cases to that. So I think this is a 10-page document in which we have discussed some case studies. Believe me, when you go to the interview, they ask you these things. And not only in the interview, what we know as a group task, typical as a group task, is made up of these case studies. So there is a professional thinking which you should develop. And in the interview, they appreciate that professional thinking. From fresh graduates, their expectation is little less. But those who are doing job or those who have done job, this is their expectation that you should have a professional thinking. तो ये आप एक बार document पढ़ लो और आपको वैसा professional thinking develop करना है, and I'm very sure you can do that. So work on this and take this document and come here for snaps or HR with us. Thank you.